Well, hello, welcome to ILoveGay today. And we're local today, and we're here in Allentown, Pennsylvania with Adrian Shanker, Executive Director of the Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center.
So glad to be here with you.
So glad to have you. It's great to connect with you here. I'm going to start off even with what most folks don't always know. I moved from New York 2 years ago and moved to Allentown, Pennsylvania, where the Bradbury-Sullivan Community Center is headquartered. But it's interesting. I never really thought about it that much. I'm here, and I've gotten to know you, met with you, and so forth, and I realized that you guys have really taken a lead when it comes to like a lot of the LGBT centers across the Northeast and different parts of the country.
Well, we're really proud of the work that we do here for our own community and as a leader throughout our region as well. Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center has always been about trying to provide the programs our community needs, the arts and culture programs, to the fights for health equity, health promotion programs, youth programs, to ensure that LGBTQ people here in the Lehigh Valley can thrive. The image of the Lehigh Valley for maybe the rest of the country hasn't always been as positive. We all know the Billy Joel song when the factories were closing down, and we remember the opening scene in Pose where literally the opening scene in the first season where one of the characters is escaping from a homophobic family in Allentown. We're trying to make sure that the lived reality of LGBTQ people here today is a positive one and one where we can all thrive.
Yeah, well, I think you guys have done an amazing job with that, especially even before even looking at the health-related things with Lehigh Valley Pride. You guys take it, you take the lead on that as well and produce that.
Yeah, we were so proud to bring Lehigh Valley Pride back in person this year. It was really great to have a virtual Pride instead of no Pride at all in 2020, but it was not the same. It wasn't even close to the same. And coming back for Pride in person this year meant a lot for our community. It meant a lot for our team here at the center as well. With Lehigh Valley Pride and with all of our programs, we're really dedicated to making sure that we're celebrating LGBTQ art, culture, and community. And that's what we've been striving to do with Pride and with all programs at Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center.
Yeah, including you tie in with Arts Walk here in Allentown too, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic, we were closed in our physical building. And we opened a pop-up gallery actually in the Allentown Arts Walk while our art galleries at the center were closed. We reopened our galleries here in September, so we're no longer in the Arts Walk, but we are throughout last year we were programming Work It Wednesdays, fun drag events that were during daylight hours. So some people that had never been able to experience drag performance were able to experience drag arts from like a 5 to 7 p.m. time frame. And that's something that we are certainly hoping to continue into 2022. That was a lot with Arts Walk restaurants, for example. So we certainly are trying to be part of the broader arts community in downtown Allentown, and we see that as core to our mission.
Yeah. But back to the health side, which is of course near and dear to everyone's heart right now, especially with Omicron making the waves. And but you guys, you're actually doing COVID-19 vaccination and different programs there too, right?
So we vaccinated more than 1,000 people. We administered more than 1,000 vaccines to LGBTQ people and allies here at Bradbury-Sullivan LGBT Community Center between March and May 2020. And then we brought live vaccines to Lehigh Valley Pride, where people could get vaccinations without appointment. Right now, we're not offering vaccines at this point, but we are about to start in January offering COVID testing biweekly, asymptomatic testing here at the center. Right now, we certainly know that there is absolutely a need for people to get vaccinated, get boosted. LGBTQ people know this is not our first virus. We know how to survive a plague, and that means listening to the scientists. We have some scientists that are doing really amazing work, some that are part of our community, like Admiral Rachel Levine as Assistant Secretary for Health, Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis at CDC. We can listen to the sound advice of Biden administration scientists and get vaccinated, get boosted. But we also need to get tested regularly. So Bradbury-Sullivan Center is starting to offer biweekly testing here. No cost, no appointment required. It's walk up and it's free.
Yeah. But it's those relationships, especially with CDC and so forth, you talked about, that really allow you to when it comes to grants and so forth, to not only be the recipient of a grant, but to kind of be the team leader and bring in other LGBT centers in with
Yeah.
that.
So for the last 6 months, we actually had received a CDC Foundation grant, which we're really honored to have received, that supported our COVID-19 prevention work. We did share some of those resources with other LGBT centers and organizations throughout Eastern PA. Similarly, we have a grant right now to support healthcare enrollment through the Pennsylvania Healthcare Marketplace, and we're partnering with about 16 other LGBT organizations across Pennsylvania. A number of them are LGBT centers, where we're actually sub-granting some of our grant to support them by bringing our program to their space to help LGBTQ people across Pennsylvania access health insurance, which is so critical, especially during a pandemic, that people have access to healthcare insurance. So by the way, I'll just mention that this service is free for anyone in Pennsylvania who might need assistance enrolling for healthcare, and they can access information through our website, BradburySullivanCenter.org.
Yeah. And are you still doing some of the anti-tobacco initiatives I've seen?
We are working across Eastern Pennsylvania on tobacco control for LGBTQ people, tobacco prevention mostly. Tobacco is actually the leading cause of death for LGBTQ people, and it's something we often don't talk about because it's like that casual cigarette at a gay bar. But really, what we know is that LGBTQ people deserve to live our proud lives longer. And that means taking action in our own hands, our own bodies, to support our campaign here at the center is called Out Proud and Tobacco Free. And we really want to encourage people to make decisions for their body that lead to longevity. And so we do work to help prevent LGBTQ people from starting to smoke, and we make referrals to the Tobacco Free Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, which is a state resource to help people quit tobacco.
It's funny because of all these things you're talking about. A couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't have known as much about what you've been up to and all this work. But you've got a great asset there with Stephen, who heads your communications department. I mean, he's phenomenal when it comes to getting the word out.
Oh, I know every single day how lucky we are. We first off, many LGBT organizations don't have a communications department, and for us, communications is not self-congratulatory. It's about making sure that LGBTQ people here in the Lehigh Valley, across Pennsylvania, know the services, programs, and events that are available to them. And if people don't know that it's happening, it's a little bit of trees falling in forests. So we really want to make sure that the amazing opportunities that we're offering for our community are made aware to the community. And Stephen does a great job. Our communications team does a great job of making sure that that more people are aware of these programs. Like, for example, we offer 15 monthly supporting community groups at the center. All are free. We have two reading groups and a community art making group. We have art galleries and a lending library. We have free film series. That's in addition to our legal clinic and our HIV testing, COVID testing, daily youth programs. There's so much we're doing. We're a complex organization, and with complexity, it sometimes makes it hard to make sure everyone knows. And that's why we have invested in communications team to make sure that more people are aware of the services that are available.
Yeah. Well, he's also personalized it for the holidays, because he's featuring both, at least I've seen on Instagram and Twitter, but I'm sure on Facebook, but featuring LGBT couples in the Lehigh Valley.
Proud holidays. Yeah. So we're trying to make people feel like the Lehigh Valley is an inclusive and welcoming place to live. Yeah. And by the way, I believe it is. And Proud Holidays is about making sure that people see that, there are LGBTQ families living here, thriving here, celebrating the holidays here. And we're trying to honor our community by celebrating them.
Well, they do a great job, and I could attest that. My husband and I, we very much love living here now. So I'm looking forward to being part of Pride next year, and then also just seeing how everything comes together in 2022.
Oh, absolutely. We have some exciting plans for our community for 2022. And for any viewers, I would just remind you that to stay connected to the programs and services that we offer, all of our programs and services are free for the community. BradburySullivanCenter.org has all the information. And we are also on a variety of social media platforms, including Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Meetup, et cetera.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for taking some of your time to share some of your story with our audience. And like I said, look forward to reconnecting again into the new year.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great holidays.
You too. Take care, Doc.
So good.